stage for the second leg.
White bread made from 15 carbohydrate-rich grains. Goolwa, South Australia, and Mother Nature did her best to blow us off the beach.
Standing down here on the sand, it can almost blow you over. The seagulls are going backwards down here. It's incredible.
But for these Ironmen, pursuit is the nature of the beast. And it wasn't Mother Nature's turn here. It was Father Time himself who beat the clock. Dwayne Tobys.
He's done it! He's finally done it! A home beach victory and a piece of history for Dwayne Tobys.
An Uncle Tobys original, an Ironman veteran at 34. He's the oldest competitor out there. In 9 years, he'd never won a Super Series race. Well, in his home state, he did better than that. He won our hearts as well.
1983, I first won my world title. 1985 and 86, I won an Australian title. And basically, I've won jack since.
Dwayne's day is now history. But who knows what Wanda will bring? A triple test of stamina, skill and speed in the southern Sydney waters. The time has come for the series challengers, Maya, Andrews and Blair, to make their move. But don't forget Dwayne, time is still on his side. And he's not finished yet. This is round 5 of the Uncle Tobys Super Series, exclusive to Network 10.
Welcome back to wonderful Wanda Beach here in southern Sydney. The Meadowlee Iron women have already completed their torture test in the triple sprint, and now it's time for the Uncle Tobys Super Series men to contest round 5. Grant Kenny and I are sharing a wonderful view here. The crowd is building up at Wanda. The conditions here are tough, Grant, but surf skills will play a big part.
Absolutely. We saw it already with the women's, and what a great job Linda Halfweek done. I expect more of the same with the men's. The surf's not big, but it is tricky, and it can make a great deal of difference to the points and the placings. There are a dozen Australian Ironman championships being won by this field, 6 world championships, and a handful of young guns in there to mix things up. This is going to be an exciting day's racing.
Yep, we couldn't help but show you the view. The crowd is building up here at Wanda. Now, this is what they're all fighting for today. The adjusted series points that you're looking at really tell the story of the whole year. Nathan Meyer has only a 1-point lead over Guy Andrews. Joshua Blair is also up there fighting. Scott Thompson, Michael King won't be competing today. He has injured ribs. Now, the defending Super Series champion, Scotty Reeves, is back in 7th position overall. So really today is all about a fight for points. They're going to go through this triple sprint format, 3 by 25-minute races, and at the end of the day, they're going to sit down and take a look at the overall point score and say, where am I sitting as far as Portsea goes? That's our next venue. The series won't be decided here today, but there will be a champion that we can crown as far as round 5 goes. It is a tough beach, this one, Wanda. Let's get down to the sand because Tim Bailey, conditions changing all the time.
Yeah, and they have since the women's event too, Matthew. What's happened is the southeasterly has swung more to a straight-on southerly. The tide's come in, and that's swallowed up the swell a bit. Forget about your 3 foot now. It's more like 2 foot, and the wave's breaking pretty close to the shore, and that'll make for some tight racing. It certainly did yesterday when we had the qualifying for this event, and Matty White was down there earning a fair day's pay for once in his life, and he's got this report.
Windy Wanda conjured up memories of Goolwa, but in Heat 1, little had changed from the last round. Nathan Meyer, wearing the yellow singlet for the first time, was still out in front. At the end of the swim, Meyer, Josh Blair and Kane Husener were in perfect position. Trevor Hendy and Scott Reeves trapped in the danger zone. The board, though, had Meyer trapped in dead water, and the World Ironman champion could only wait as the rest of the field swallowed up his domination. By the end of the second leg, Husener and Blair had confirmed their top 10 spots. Meyer was always safe, but Hendy and Dwayne Tobys weren't there just yet. Then a superb ski leg from Dean Mercer gave him the tasted victory. ending a frustrating run of outs in the series.
Oh, I feel fantastic this morning and looking forward to, as I said, getting back to a bit of form and up there the place getters right now it should be.
All the big names made it through. Brett Tyack, though, had the best story. He'd never conquered a semi-final in 9 attempts. He did yesterday, finishing 10th in Heat 1. Heat 2 and Jonathan Crowe led the way in the swim. Dual series winner Guy Andrews in the top 5. Darren Mercer on the borderline in 9th. From there, Kiwi Corey Hutchings led the rest, blowing them away on the board, going out further in the ski and cruising home first. Guy Andrews second, Thompson, Berg and Crowe in the top 5. Darren Mercer ensuring he'll be on the start line today. Yes, there'll be 21 competitors starting in all today, and the numbers on the left of your screen are their starting singlet positions. They're the numbers that they'll wear on their singlets and arms. Reeves, Hendy, Blair, Andrews, Husner and Pullen. What about Nathan Meyer? Isn't he having a terrific year, Grant Kenny? 3 second placings straight at the moment.
Absolutely, and world champion at the moment too, so it's very fitting that he's up there. Corey Hutchings too has had a great season, and we look forward to big things from him today.
So all these competitors got through the elimination semi-finals yesterday. The top 10 in each went through, and Dean and Darren Mercer will be here today. And in fact, Dean Mercer won the first elimination semi-final yesterday. It was a welcome return to form to him. He said to me that he'd been frustrated throughout the opening races of this series. Of course, it's the Mercer brothers' first time in the Uncle Tobys series. They want to make a big impact and they haven't done it yet. Maybe today, as the triple sprint almost gets underway, we're just waiting for one competitor to come up, and that could have been one of the Mercer brothers there on the blue ski about 4 in from the right-hand side. A standing start, yes it is. A standing start now. It was a ski, board, swim, the first of 3 races today.
And the reason they're there for some time is race referee Rod Taylor is holding them and waiting to get the most even start possible. You see the waves going through the field of starters there, hitting them from the left, then making its way across to the right-hand side. He's got to wait until there's clear water in front of all the competitors. So very difficult it is to get a clear start on the ski, but Rod Taylor holds his ground there for a while. It looks like Drew Blatchford's got his arm up. He's not happy about something. He's trying to get to make sure that he gets a clear start.
There's the other winner of the other elimination semi on your screen just then, Corey Hutchings. He won race 2 in the elimination semis, won it by a long way, in fact. So they're all out there. Number 2, Trevor Hendy with the blue cap and the white star. They're all waiting now for Rod Taylor to give them the go, and they're away. The first leg of this first race. It is a triple sprint format. 1.5 kilometres on the ski. They're heading out now into pretty choppy conditions, but it looks as though the wind is just coming straight across the beach. So it's coming right at your screen as you see it across their right-hand shoulders. 1.5 kilometres out in this water here at Wanda. In the middle of the pack wearing the yellow singlet is Nathan Meyer. He's got the yellow singlet overall for this series because he's the overall leader at the moment.
Yes, well, back to at this stage, chasing the pack being led at the moment on the top left of your screen. That's Stephen Meredith from Mooloolaba. Right next to him, Trevor Hendy. Obviously doing well on the ski due to his kayak work, but Stephen Meredith, a very strong ski paddler in his own right, and has been doing reasonably well so far this season.
Look to me there that down on the bottom there was Brett Tyack. Now, he is an interesting story because in 9 semi-final attempts, Brett Tyack hasn't made it through to a final race. He did so this time, qualifying in 10th position. Grant, take us through this map.
Well, this is the first part of the course, the 1.5 kilometre ski leg through the M shape. Then a 150-metre run transition to the board, 1 kilometre of board paddling, and then finally through the same sort of M-shaped course, 600 metres of swimming. So that will be finished off by a very short 75-metre sprint to the finish line, and of course competitors will do that 3 times today. This is race 1. Ski, board, swim, and out on the ski, close to the action. Grant Wilkinson replacing Guy Leach, who is unfortunately out with food poisoning today. Wilco, plenty of action around this first can.
Yeah, it's all happening out here. Simon Martin was in the lead. They went in, but got knocked around. Trevor Hendy's come out best of it. Stephen Meredith has just come up the inside with Steve King and Steve Pullen. So they're starting to catch the runs now. This field will really open up on the way home.
Wilco, I'm sure you'd love to be out there because your home beach is not far from this one, down at Allura, just down the road, really. You didn't make it through those elimination heats yesterday. It was pretty tough out there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. The wind got up. It was pretty tricky conditions, but never mind. I'm out here having fun.
And you're putting in a few deep breaths as well. Let's take a look at Trevor Hendy. He's, well, probably one of the best you can see. Take a look at the form of the man. Really in control out there, isn't he?
You see him looking around. What he's looking for, see that little dip under the bow of his ski. He's always trying to keep the nose of his ski in one of those little hollows because that's the downhill. That's the little chop that's going to really push the ski along. Most people tend to think that the competitors are looking behind them to see the swell coming. In fact, they get their cues from the hollow in front of them. So there's a great shot. That's Steve pulling. We've got Nathan Meyer there. Stevie Meredith, Trevor Hendy, Simon Martin's on it. Looks like Scott Reeves, and right over the other side, I can't quite tell who that is on the far right side of your screen. But 7 competitors on this first wave. Now, this will be almost chaotic as they make their way in. What they're going to do is, as they hit the beach, and Trevor Hendy sprinting ahead now, he wants to get the best of the run. They're going to ditch their skis. They're going to run up the beach, around the Holden Frontiera, back down into the water. In the meantime, their handlers have got to grab their skis, turn them around, get them lined up again so that it's a clean break for them to jump on and head back out to sea. Well, the competitor that you couldn't quite make out was Kane Houston. Many expect him to be the danger man in this type of format. There's Stephen King coming up. Corey Hutchings as well is there also. Let's get down to Tim Bailey on the sand because there's a bit of a traffic jam, but it's in the hands of the handlers, Tim.
I guess you could call it a hectic start to the new year, Matty. They are going left, right and centre. Race referee Rod Taylor yelling out, be careful, because there are bodies, boards, skis going everywhere here.
Yep, quite a bit of mayhem. Let's talk a minute now for the leading group, Grant. I want to ask you the question about Kane Houston as we take a look at Trevor Hendy. Take a look at that, the way he just glides across there with ease. Kane Houston is the man to watch. Why do so many people say that? He loves the short sprint format, but he really is a danger man, and he's the name on everyone's lips.
Yeah, I think he's just been one of the new faces coming through the pack. He comes from a great family. His father is a former Australian champion, Olympic kayak representative, and really a quality competitor. So he spent a lot of time in his youth in the surf, and he's developed into a really strong competitor. He's been very consistent. He's got 3 pretty strong legs. Doesn't have anything of weakness to speak of, and really tends to make the most of every opportunity that comes by. And as we can see here today, he's really out there and pushing hard. Trevor Hendy is, as you can see, right along there, and he's doing his usual Trevor Hendy tactical stuff. He's having a bit of a rest on the way out on the side wash of Kane Houston. He's letting Kane do most of the work, and he'll just sit back there, try and stay fairly comfortable as he makes his way around the turning cans. Now, Kane will have a slight advantage being on the inside, but this is typical of Hendy's racing, and Trev was lucky to qualify through yesterday. He was back towards the back of the pack, but I think it was just a little bit of the old Trevor Hendy coming through, and that is, well, I'll only go as hard as I need to, and I'll save my best for tomorrow.
We see him do it time and time again. The Energy Plus profile there of Kane Houston to list the swim as his favourite event. The 21-year-old from Maroubra is having a pretty good year. Remember last year, of course, as I said, he won it at Freshwater Beach. It was a sprint kind of format there, and he really blew them away in the end. Overall, he is sitting in 9th position overall on the adjusted points, so he wants to make some kind of move today right up the ladder if he wants to be part of the equation down there at Portsea. Let's go back out to Grant Wilkinson. He is out there on our Energy Plus ski cam. Grant, any big movers so far? It looks to me as though Kane and Trevor are leading the way.
The first group's really cleared out from the rest of the pack. Chasing them, you got Reeves and Steve Pullen. They've got a bit of a gap back. Dean Mercer has come from last. Paddling out in the first lap, he was last, and now he's leading that second pack, so he's certainly come through.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty important for all the competitors to get a clean run through the cans. There's quite a few runners back towards the beach. Wilco?
Yeah, there is. That makes it all the more important to get out clean and around the boys. As soon as you turn the can, a 5-metre lead will probably open up into about a 50-metre lead if you're lucky enough.
Yeah, and of course, once they get back to the wave area, which is about where they are now, that can mean the difference between getting the first wave and not getting it. Trevor Hendy on the screen pushing hard now for a small wave. Nathan Meyer is the competitor closest to you. Hendy has missed that wave. Nathan Meyer it is now, pushing hard on a little swell. Very tiny little swell. He's going to carry him through now to the beach. As you can see, that's only about 200 centimetres high, and it's enough to pull the ski through. So Nathan Meyer will be the first one to the beach.
Well, Trevor was quite lucky there because he looked to me as though he was trapped in some dead water, but he was smart enough to keep coming over to his right where another wave was forming, and that's the wave that you're looking at right now. There was 4 of them on that. Well, there's about 6 or 7, and that's the one behind them. So they're coming in clean, clear-cut lines as they come into the beach.
There's a lot of quality in that too. Corey Hutchings and Dean Mercer, the 2 winners of yesterday's heats. Stephen King, Jonathan Crowe, Sean Kenny in the red. Dwayne Tyers runs through. They're all there. Gee, there are some big names, and they are 2 waves back behind the leaders as we watch Scott Reeves and Simon Martin. That's Reevesy running past Trevor Hendy there now. Simon Martin behind him, but the man out in front is the current world Ironman champion, and I guess you'd have to say that this is the format most similar to that which Nathan Meyer would have raced over when he won the World Championship. This triple sprint format, each of these 3 races, very similar to what he would have done. Now it's into the water for the 1 kilometre board leg, and Nathan Meyer is no slouch on the board. The difficulty for him is now, though, he's out on his own. He's now going to have to do all the work himself.
I don't think he'll mind doing that either because, like a lot of these young competitors, they think so much about their race tactics, and really they don't really care about the experienced guys anymore. They say, we're young enough to do it ourselves, and they've got the brash confidence to do that. We saw Linda Halfwig do that in the Meadow Lee Ironwoman Series earlier today, and she ended up with a race victory. Nathan Meyer heads them out. That's the second pack chasing. So they're about 25, probably around about 20, 25 metres behind Nathan Meyer at the moment. Simon Martin, that massive frame in the middle of your screen, his nose is in front of that second pack. Kane Houston's on his right, Scott Reeves on his left, and further down on the right-hand side of your screen now is Trevor Hendy. But what a year it's been for Nathan Meyer. He's heading him out. He was 21st at North Burleigh, Nathan Meyer. Then he's had 3 consecutive second places. Last year, his best finish was a 3rd. He had 2 third finishes over at Huntington Beach in LA and then back here at Freshwater. And last year, he finished overall 7th. Now he's looking good to claim the overall series title. Nathan Meyer's out in front. Hope you can stay with us. We're at Wanda Beach for round 5 of the Uncle Tobys Super Series. Welcome back. You've joined us at an opportune time as a wave builds up behind Nathan Meyer. He's going to have to work hard to get anything out of this wave. He's already missed 1 while we're in a commercial break, and it just peeled over the top. He's fallen off that too.
Well,
the problem is that he's going to turn around, Grant Kenny, and see about 10 competitors come right down behind him, so he's left with no option but to say, where did these guys come from? Watch them. They're just going to come straight past him in a minute's time or so. No, he's got a little runner just in front of that. He's got a tiny little runner.
Gee, that's good. There's 12 competitors on the wave behind. There's a bit of push and shove.
Here they come, Nathan.
Yeah, Dwayne Tyers pushed his way onto that wave, and I don't think Scott Reeves was too happy about it. Nathan Meyer, all that hard work, 25 metres ahead he was. Now he's only about 5 metres in front. Not even that now as the chase pack hunts him down. Dwayne Tyers is back up there. Stephen King's in that pack. Stephen Pullen's in that pack. Someone's come off. Who was that? I can't quite see. Somebody did a terrible job of the transition there. Stephen Meredith, I think it was, ran, and when he was jumping on his board, came off. Second from the right is Guy Andrews, big name, winner at Perth. Scotty Thompson on the left-hand side of your screen as they make their way up now.
Josh Blair right to Guy Andrews' left-hand side. Of course, he won the first race of this series and is looking for a big, big race here. The Holden race clock tells us that 13 minutes and 20 seconds have gone. It is a 25-minute race. They will have a 20-minute recovery period in between this and the next one. This is only the second leg, by the way, of race 1, and then they've got the swim to go, which is about 600 metres. In between, as you mentioned, Grant, it's all about transition. It's only 150 metres or so worth of running, which is really just like a changeover period. You can't get any kind of rhythm when you're down there on the sand. So now they're all bunched up yet again. The field is back. It's nice and tight, and Grant Wilkinson's out there on the Energy Plus ski cam right next to them. Look at that field, Wilco. They've just all bunched up around Nathan Meyer.
Yeah, poor Nathan. He had a good lead then, and they that wave on him. Steve Pullen's leading out in front, and Trevor, good old Trevor's just sitting on the wash there, just saving himself. Dean Mercer's come from way back. I said he was leading the second pack. Now he's almost up to the board.
Wilco, when you are competing, and Grant mentioned that Trevor Hendy does do these tactics, when you're competing and you know that somebody like the great Trevor's sitting right next to you playing mind games, does it put you off at all?
It does. When you've got someone as capable as Trevor in all three disciplines, you know if he's going to relax on you, he's that extra energy at the end. You want to get rid of him as soon as possible.
Yep, it's no easy task, but that's what they're doing. Of course, Grant Wilkinson, one of the Uncle Tobys Ironmen this year, just sitting in on the ski for us today because Guy Leach, as you may have heard, isn't well. And I'm sure Leachy's watching this at home. We hope that you're with us at Portsea, Leachy. Now, Trevor Hendy with Stephen King to his left, tries to get around this can and tries to get some runners in. And I think that the difference about this race than to what we saw in the women's race is that there seems to be more clearly defined sets coming through. Yeah. It was so much more choppier earlier on today.
Yeah, I think that's partly due to the fact that the tides come in a little bit and there's a wave building up out the back.
Look at him get across it.
Unusual on the high tide, but look at that. Half the field is on this wave. Steve Pullen has had a late takeoff. He's nearly come off.
Oh, he's gone off.
Oh, tragedy if he recovers.
Look at him get back on it and he's off again.
Oh, Steve Pullen, that was terrible luck for him.
Unbelievable skills from Steve Pullen. He did absolutely everything to get hold of it. He got thrown off twice and he wasn't going to let his board go because that spells disaster.
Absolutely. The big mistake he made was not lying down and getting back to the back of the board when that first wave came through and hit him. And now look what it's done. He's gone from first to about 14th position. There is a whole pack. There are 4 competitors on this wave, including Brett Tyack. It looks like Sean Kenny is in there as well as...
now
it's Darren Mercer on the right-hand side. So Trevor Hendy now is back in the lead as the field makes their way along. Simon Martin's there. We got Nathan Myers recovered well. Dean Mercer's in 4th. Corey Hutchins in 5th. Stephen King. We got Steve Meredith. Kane Husner, who did so well in the first leg, is dropped back to about 8th position, but still only about 10 metres off the pace, and he's still with some quality competitors. So it's very tight for the first 12 or so competitors, and the big man, Trevor Hendy, leading them out.
Yeah, side by side with his good mate too, Nathan Meyer, who's there in the yellow singlet. He's just got such a familiar running style, hasn't he, Nathan? He looks down, he's focused on his feet, he doesn't really care about who's around him, but it all came down to this wave when they were coming back in, and poor old Stephen Pullen, that's him on the yellow board. Now watch him here. He dives down, flips back up like he's on a trampoline. That was incredible stuff. Now you think, okay, but then it's trouble again.
Well, what happened there was it was a late takeoff. When he finally paddled back over the front of that wave, he had to stay forward on his board to have any chance of getting over it. Of course, what happens then is he's too far forward and immediately nosedive. So big mistake there by Steve Pullen initially to have come off, but a very, very good attempt to recover from that, and let's hope he can make up all that ground that he lost there.
He showed the important thing there too of keeping hold of his craft. Let's take a look at the Energy Plus profile of Simon Martin. He finished 11th last year in the series. He loves the ski and the run, and like everyone loves the enduro as well. He really is a massive man. In fact, we've got about 3 of the biggest guys in the field out there at the moment. Nathan Meyer, Trevor Hendy and Simon Martin. They're 3 pretty big fellas. When you get around to the cans, these are the type of guys you don't want to be messing around with because they've got gigantic arms, and I think Grant Wilkinson, you can attest to that. They're big fellas, aren't they?
Yeah, certainly not bigger than me, but Kane Huston's come right through the field on that one. He's sitting about 3rd as they go around the cans. Simon's still leading. Scotty Reeves getting buffeted there by Jonathan Crowe, but it'll all there. There's a few waves building up behind. Whoever can hold on to these waves, they'll be able to open up a good gap on the rest of the field.
Wilco, what about the rules and regulations, or aren't there any when they're getting around those cans? Is it just fly as hard as you can and bash each other?
Oh, you try not to do it on purpose, but when there's a lot of money on the line, there's an old saying, there's no friends at the cans.
No, there never is. Stay with us, though, on Network 10. We have more of the Uncle Tobys Super Series after this. Welcome back to Wanda Beach as the waves form here for our swimmers, and Simon Martin could be in a good position to get himself some kind of leg up back into the beach. Simon Martin with Kane Husner as well. So that's the leading group at the moment. They're coming back in for the first changeover in their swim leg. They're halfway through it. Look at those waves. They're almost teasing these guys, saying, I think I might break, but you're going to have to really work hard to catch me.
Yeah, that's
now,
the deep water from the high tide that's making it hard for them there as they come across the bank out the back, not breaking as much as it was earlier on in the day for the girls. But
well, one of the competitors up there with a blue cap just to our left of screen probably will get that wave. He waited for it, timed it to perfection. So that's what happens. Trevor Hendy just, gets out in front.
Mercer.
That's Dean Mercer, gets out in front. Stephen King, right closest to your screen, pops up. Let's get down to Tim Bailey because Nathan Meyer's still out in front. Look who's behind him, Tim Duano.
Oh, it's on for young and old down here. It's the tightest racing all season. They are going hard. You said what happens round the boys. I think it's the same thing that happens round the banner out here. No, beg your pardon, just like World Championship Wrestling in Sluggos.
Yeah, and that's a pretty scary sight too. They're heading back into the beach now, but what an effort by Dwayne Tyes. This type of format could suit Dwayne, couldn't it? Because he's got the confidence after that last round victory at Goolwa. And now he knows that if he just fires away, he gets 20 minutes breather in between, which is going to suit an old bloke who's 34, from these young guys anyway. And the confidence will just keep building for him.
Absolutely. And Dwayne, I think, did receive one really important thing in Adelaide, and that was a big boost to his confidence. I've seen some tremendous performances from him over the years, but he's always got to a point where I think he's really been disappointed in his own running, and I think he's put himself down a bit there psychologically, because I really think that, well, he proved it at Goolwa when when he really needs to, he can run. And this format doesn't have a great deal of running, but one thing Dwayne does do is swim well, he paddles his board well, he paddles the ski well, and his surf skills are great. It was a little wave that he picked up. That's him on the right-hand side, those two black caps. Dwayne Tyes on the right. The left-hand side, just out of your screen now, is Corey Hutchings from New Zealand. But Dwayne, I saw him, he pulled a little wave, used his great skills to close up about 10 metres just before the transition, halfway through this swim leg. So look at the gap there now between first and second. That's Simon Martin and Kane Hughesner back to the pack, which is on the yellow singlet, Nathan Meyer. On his left shoulder is Dean Mercer. Dwayne Tyes on the second row in the right there. Corey Hutchings, that other black cap. And Trevor Hendy was well up going into this swim, but has dropped back a fair bit through the course of this first half of the swim leg. So Trevor's ski paddling is going very well as a result of all the kayak work that he's doing, I'd say, Matt, and just that great form as a board paddler, a former world champion, many times Australian champion, is holding him up there for the board leg, but he's probably suffering a little in the swim because of the amount of time devoted to his kayak training.
And of course, you might notice that we haven't been talking about Kai Hurst in this swim, because if he was competing today, we'd certainly be talking about him. He'd more than likely be out there in front by now in the swim leg. Kai isn't competing today. The World Championships over in Perth, the World Swimming Championships are coming up. So look out for Kai Hurst there. He's competing in the open swim, 5 kilometres. And we do wish him luck. He is a star of the future without question. We've got Grant Wilkinson out there on the Energy Plus ski cam. And Wilco, they're turning around those boys now. They're coming back in. Is there any chance that leading pack can be caught? They've got about 15 metres break.
Yeah, well, they seem to be swimming away. Simon and Kane seem to be swimming away from everyone. Dwayne Tyes has just swum straight past Nathan Meyer, actually swimming away from the rest of the pack. If any waves build up, I think Dwayne's probably got the best chance out.
Yeah, Dwayne's got a really solid background behind him, particularly his training this year. I know he's been working really hard in the pool. He's been riding his bike to training and back, so he's been spending a lot of time getting himself ready. Now, just watch what he's doing. He's moving across. Well, we just lost him off that shot. That's Guy Andrews with the green cap. But Dwayne Tyes, you might have noticed, has moved right across to the left-hand edge of your screen. He's had a look up and decided that they're all swimming into a rip. So Tyes, now he's on the left-hand, the bottom left of your screen. That's him moving towards, sort of swimming towards the camera, and he's moved over there to pick up a wave. Will it pay off? No, it doesn't. Well, tactically, I thought it was going to be a great move for him. As it turned out to be back where he was before that, probably would have been a little bit better. There's other competitors who picked up waves there. But Tyes, gee, it was just good thinking, and I think bad luck that it didn't pay off.
And here comes Kane Hughesner out of the water, chasing now Simon Martin. This is the last leg of the first race, so Simon Martin will win this first race as he sprints along the beach. Kane Hughesner will come in second. Here's how it works. Simon Martin crosses the line and gets 1 point for doing so. Kane Hughesner will get 2 points, and so on and so forth down the back there as they come through. Scotty Thompson comes in and gets 3 points. Look at the charge from Brett Tyack just gets on the outside of Trevor Hendy. So they start accumulating the points, and if you don't know how the triple sprint format works, they've got 2 more races to go, 3 legs each, and at the end of each race, they'll accumulate the points. The competitor with the lowest amount of points at the end of the day will win round 5 of the Uncle Tobys Super Series. But big Simon Martin's back in form as we take a look at Sean Kenny. Looks behind me and says, how many people are behind me? Simon Martin's done it, though. He's taken out race 1, and he's with Tim Bailey.
I think I can put the microphone. I think I can reach up there, Slim. Great win. Your coach, Gary Ireland, said you've been in sensational form throughout the Christmas break.
Yeah, well, I've been working pretty hard, and I think I've got the, you know, the idea of what to do between races now again, so I'm starting to improve.
Tell me, that was some of the tightest racing of the season out there. No friendships made around the boys and around the banners?
No, definitely not. You know, we can all shake each other's hands at the end of the day. It's the main thing, but I was just trying to keep the pressure up and hopefully force some mistakes, and fortunately I came out with that one.
It's a tricky sort of swell, isn't it? They're very hard to get hold of with the high tide, the waves.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially when you're 95 kilos, some of the little waves don't really pick you up, and you can't really run all that well, but I managed to do okay there.
Well done, Simon Martin. Started the triple sprint the right way. Our winner. We'll take a commercial break. 2 more races, plenty of excitement, live from Wanda Beach after this commercial break.
Enjoy the heat this summer with cool prizes from Uncle Tobys and...
Welcome back to Network 10's exclusive coverage of the Uncle Tobys Super Series, and a massive crowd is building up here at Wanda Beach. Take a look at that. Probably one of the best crowds we've had all year so far, and a wonderful shot also from our chopper, giving us superb pictures today, Grant Kenny, and that's why.
Yes, that's the $500,000 FLIR system camera developed by the US military for target sights from their weapon systems, and developed and actually adapted for television use, and it's what's bringing us some of the most amazing shots that we've had all through the history of the Uncle Tobys Super Series. Some of those incredibly tight shots that we're getting of the competitors going around the cans, all coming from the chopper. So it's great to have that as a part of the tools, so to speak, here at Wanda.
Yes, and one man who has been on target so far is Trevor Hendy. Finished 4th in race 1 of this triple sprint. He joins Tim Bailey on the beach.
As if you need another reason to celebrate Trevor Hendy with Christmas and New Year's. It's hard for an Ironman to eat and drink the right things, but you got some big news a couple of days before Chrissy.
Yeah, I was actually down in Victoria with Joe, my girlfriend's parents, just before Christmas, and we got a phone call to say my sister had gone into labour and had twin boys, so I'm an uncle twice.
I tell you what, they might be hard to beat in the salt water. What are their names?
Nicholas and Thomas.
All right, you like to say hello to the folks down there?
Yeah, hello Nicholas, Thomas, and my sister Di, and Pete, husband and mum. They're all watching.
All right, now back to work for a second. That first race, it seemed to be a real frantic pace.
It was incredibly close. You know, like, I don't think I was out of the top 3 in the board or ski around the paddling parts, but each time we're on a wave with 10 or 12 guys, you know, it's just, it's hard to get a breakaway, and if you do, you're extremely lucky.
Yeah, around the boys, we made mention that it's a bit like World Championship Wrestling out there at times.
Yeah, it certainly was. And, you know, it used to just be the swim leg, but now it's so close. It doesn't matter what leg it is, board, ski, swim, you're just going around the can with 5 or 6 guys at a time, and it's a big struggle, and they're all quick.
Thank you very much, Trevor Hendy. All the best for the rest of the triple sprint. The Superman himself, and now an uncle. Is there anything he can't do? Back to you, Matty.
Well, talk about double trouble in the Hendy clan. This is a triple sprint. Let's take a look at the Vitabrits race results. For race 1, Simon Martin gets 1 very valuable point. Kane Houston came in 2nd. Scott Thompson snuck into 3rd right under our guard. And Corey Hutchings there in 6th. And as we said, the points on the right-hand side of your screen by the end of the day will all be added up after the 3 races they've had today. So the go here is you've got to get the least amount of points as you can.
Absolutely, and Nathan Meyer back there in 13th position. He was well up early on in the race, but just goes to show what a difference surf can make.
21 competitors now lining up for race 2, starting with the board. Then they'll have the swim, then they'll have the ski. It's 1 kilometre worth of board paddling out there, so it's really short format the whole way. Back to the old Ironman format that we used to have, and they've just got to do it 3 times all day. So Sunday, the 1st of February, get down to North Narrabeen if you can, or get on the phone, because It's time for the Extreme Nipathon. We've been telling you about it for a while now. There should be a pretty big crowd down there, and it'll be a great day if you want to get your kids into this action. Maybe one day become an Uncle Tobys Iron Man or a Meadow Lee Iron Woman. Ready now for race 2. Guy Andrews right next to us, next to our camera, and look at the determination on that. They'll fire away and they'll go sprinting right into this little shore break. Look at them take off. It's almost like a 100-metre sprint. Throw down the boards, straight into the wave area there at the shore break, and they're full firing out. 21 of them. To the right-hand side is the yellow singlet of Nathan Meyer. That gives you some idea where one of the leaders is. It looks as though Big Simon Martin's gone flying out in front already, and he could be the man to catch. Wrong, it's Trevor Hendy, another big guy anyway.
On the left-hand side, Trevor Hendy leading out. On the right-hand side of that pack, it was Steve Pullen. That's him on the yellow board with the red cap. He was leading that right-hand pack, but they've now dropped back. As you can see, Nathan Meyer working hard to push over that little wash and pull up alongside competitor blue board. It looks like Stephen King. That's the blue and black, or red and black, I'm sorry. Citizen board of Stephen King now pushing very hard. Looks like Corey Hutchings alongside him. Between he and Trevor Hendy. So now Corey Hutchings takes the lead. Hendy will sit back on the wash, as he always does. Goes very hard, and this is a classic tactic of Trevor Hendy. Pushes hard off the start to make sure he gets well established, then sits back on the wash. He's now in the sweet spot there. He's in the V-wash between Corey Hutchings and I'm not quite sure who that is.
That's Leon Hay.
Who's there, and Grant Wilkinson's very close to the action. Trevor Hendy just sitting back and taking it easy.
Again, he's sitting there on the wash. Leon Hayes didn't have such a good first race, but he's right up there. Right on Trevor, they've got Corey and Steve King, and they all want to get around the cans quick. As soon as they turn this second can, the field will open right up on these runs coming home.
Yeah, you mentioned Leon Hay, Wilco. You're right, he didn't have a good first race. He finished 21st, and that gives him 21 points for the day. So he'll want to start getting back down towards the lower points, which means getting up in first and second place. And look at the gap he's building there.
And all of that was just from pushing hard onto that one little run. You saw him in the transition. He was lying down. He sprinted in the prone position. And then once he got the momentum up, he popped up onto his knees and then carried that through. And that opened up about a 10-metre lead over the second place competitor, Trevor Hendy. But now there's a swell building up the back. If Leon Hay can catch this, it's going to open up a tremendous lead for him. Can't quite get over, I don't think. No,
just fell off the back.
Gee, there's a decent sort of swell behind him too. This one's going to be the biggest wave of the day. Not much over a metre, but still the biggest wave of the day, and there'll be quite a few on it too.
Yep, Leon Hay in our Energy Plus profile. He's a 17-year-old competitor from North Burleigh, and now he knows that he's in big business because he's got a couple of big names pulling in right next to him. Turns around and says, where'd you guys come from? Corey Hutchings there and Trevor Hendy. Yesterday in the eliminations semi-final number 2, Corey Hutchings blew him away with the one and only wave that we saw, and it was on the board leg. Now the three of them get up. They've got to come around this little banner, the Uncle Tobys banner. They'll head back in. Trevor Hendy has already come back. Now, the group behind includes Nathan Meyer. It also includes Big Scotty Reeves. A bit of trouble there for one of the competitors, lost his board. And the waves are bringing them in lines of about 7 and 8. This is the third group behind chasing now, so it really paid to be out in front in that one group. Tim Bailey down on the beach. Any big names in that back group there?
Well, Jonathan Crowe goes past me, not as highly placed as he'd like to be, so he's one name, and the Mercers 2 in that third group. Rod Taylor, interestingly, said to the boys, keep your hands to yourself. There is a rule for overzealous racing. We'll use it, so keep your hands to yourself. So it's quite physical.
Yeah, interesting. And as you'd expect, it would be physical in this type of format as well. It's not your marathon, it's not a pursuit, it's triple sprint, and it means every moment of the words, flat out the whole way, and you've got 3 legs, 3 races. At the end of the day, it's up to yourself to get out in front.
Yeah, 18 times through the break, either out or in, and that's when all the action sort of happens. Of course, you've got a lot of times, or just as many times, going around the cans. There's a lot of push and shove, and I think it's interesting that we refer to this as a triple sprint. And you can see the competitors are certainly treating it like a sprint, but they're 25-minute races, and it's just a bit of an indication of how fit these guys are to think that they go so hard for such a long time and still call it a sprint, knowing full well that they've got to then turn around and do it twice more in the day. But push and shove's a bit of an accepted thing in surf lifesaving competition, and there's a very fine line between what is acceptable and what's not. And I think that sort of comes about where It's usually shoulders and elbows are pretty common. When people start to reach out and grab the board or the body of the person next to them, I think that's when it starts to break down the fine line between fair racing and tough racing and cheating, really. And so we hope not to see any of that, but there's certainly plenty of elbows and so on trading places, particularly around the cans. And Grant Wilkinson's right with them there now. The first three around the can. Wilco, as this big bunch comes to the can, talk us through what they're trying to do there now.
Well, they're just trying to get around the can smoothly. Brett Tyke just got caught up a bit there. Had Dwayne Thies on his outside, wedged him into the can. Notice the front three guys, as soon as they turn that can, they all chase the run really hard, and they've opened that 10-metre gap up probably to about 30. There's a couple of waves building up now, and these guys will really try and motor it home.
Well, just off the right side of our screen, we've just missed Leon Hay. There he is. He's pulled onto this wave, and it was a tremendous bit of paddling, I can tell you. We could just see Nathan Meyer, who was back in about 4th position, out the back pushing hard, but Leon Hay has really capitalised on the wave that he would have loved to have got first time around.
He finished second in the Australian Under-18 board title in 1997. And second overall in the Under-18 Ironman last year. He's coached by Mick DeBetta, who certainly knows a few things about board paddling, so he'd be very happy leading in some of the biggest names in this sport, young Leon Hay. And there's some of the big names right there. Corey Hutchings and Nathan Meyer share a wave into about 3rd position overall at the moment. Leon Hay is up and running on the beach as the rest of the guys come through. Guy Andrews stands up and just negotiates that little break. Scott Reeves is right behind him as well, and there's 5 competitors coming in the 3rd group behind that as well. Josh Blair looks to me as though he's come up there. Kane Houston, who came second in race 1. Dwayne Tyes is also there. 6 minutes, 50 seconds clicking by on our Holden race clock, and already Leon Hay is back into the water. Tim Bailey, he moved across that sand pretty quickly.
Yeah, he did. He waded well, and so does this man behind him, Trevor Hendy. He's probably 15 metres behind Leon Hay. Then with Nathan Meyer and Corey Hutchings as they jump into the white water. A little powerful shore break here as the tide pushes the odd wave up. So, tight racing. It's fantastic. Leon Hay got a rousing reception as he ran down the back straight here at Wanda. I reckon we've got 10,000 people on the sand dunes. They went, Leon who? It didn't matter. They clapped and cheered him anyway.
Yeah, that's great stuff to see the crowd getting behind just the physical performance of the competitors, and I think that's what's important. People sort of respect the ability of these competitors, these lifesavers. They respect their ability as athletes, and I think that's important to acknowledge. Trevor Hendy in 2nd position, and we saw in the first race the order was ski, board, swim. Trevor was way up there in the ski and board legs, but lost a lot of ground in the swim leg, so it'll be interesting to see if he can maintain this 2nd position through this the middle leg in race 2 here, which is of course the swim. They've got 600 metres of swimming all up, about 150 metres out and back twice, so twice they'll go through the surf. It's not as big a deal going out, but of course coming in they really start to get affected by the waves, and a big difference can be made. But look at that gap that Leon Hayes started to open up. It is really a tremendous lead with this sort of competition.
Yep, as he rounds the first can, and we take a wonderful shot from our duck cam just sitting out there. And Grant Wilkinson, that's him sitting there on the ski. That's our 2nd pack there leading, Wilco. But you've been around this series for a while, and guys like Leon Hay and Wes Berg, these young guys that come through, you're never going to get a breather, are you? When you've been around for a while, it doesn't matter because there's so much talent out there, Grant.
That's right. They're so hungry too. You see, Leon, he might not have a name yet, but he didn't care much for the guys who did have a name. He got out in front, and I'm telling you, he's pulling away from them here. There's a few big ones building. One of them about to be smacked by, and he should be able to get this one.
Yep, watch this as Grant Wilkinson negotiates his way over that little wave. Wonderful work, Wilco. Leachy would be proud of you sitting at home. Hope you can stay with us as the Uncle Tobys Super Series continues from Wanda. And they've brought a couple of competitors in towards the back feet of Leon Hay. He's going to sit up and turn around and say there's 3 guys now sitting right beside me. Nathan Meyer is one of them. Guy Andrews is also in there in the middle as well.
Corey Hutchings.
And that's Corey Hutchings just dropping off at the back. And that's Leon Hay in the colourless cap. He's got the white cap. So now all of a sudden, Nathan Meyer has taken a break. And that was courtesy of one of the best waves we've seen. It just broke right on top of them. They managed to hold on to it.
I have to tell you that Guy Andrews put in a fabulous display there. He, while we're in the ad break, swam way across to his left to position himself to pick up that wave. Where he was definitely not going to get it. He was thinking, looking for that opportunity, and swam about 15 or 20 metres across to the left, contributing nothing to going straight into the beach, all in the hope of picking up a wave, and it certainly paid off. There's Scott Reeves. He's in 5th position.
They head back out now. They are halfway through this 600-metre swim. It's the second leg of race 2. And here comes the other pack chasing. Kane Houston's in there. Brett Tyack as well. Stephen King and Trevor Hendy's there also. And Joshua Blair is bringing up the tail of that little pack chasing. Tim Bailey, it seems to me as though they've spread out quite a fair bit. Those waves seem to have spread out groups 1, 2 and 3 considerably.
It was the biggest wave of the day. It came right up here, caught everyone unawares, competitors as well as people on the beach. It washed a few sand shoes away. Can tell you the topsy-turvy and tightness of this racing sees Big Simon Martin, winner of the last race, back in second last. Scott Thompson, he is third last, and he finished third in the last race. So anything can happen, and it's unfolding exactly like that here at Wanda.
Yeah, that's quite amazing, isn't it? You'd think that Simon Martin would be so buoyed, but as he said in an interview with Tim, that it's pretty hard for such a big guy to catch tiny little waves like that don't have much power behind them. He'd be out there doing his best, and he'll probably make a pretty big move because he knows second last is no good when you've already got a first on the board. It's like throwing away that first result. This is the form of young Nathan Meyer. And take a look at the standings there after the swim turn. So that's halfway through the swim turn. Meyer let him in from Leon Hay. Andrews had come up, Corey Hutchings, Scotty Reeves and Kane Houston as well. The numbers on the right-hand side are how far they are back from the leader. So Brett Tyack is around 17 seconds back. The Mercers up in 11th and 12th position so far during this swim. They're having a pretty good couple of days here, and they've had, yesterday in particular, a much better day than they've had all year in this series. Look at Guy Andrews pulls up alongside Nathan Meyer, as if to say, I'm not letting you go.
Solid swim. This is the Guy Andrews we know. He's pushing very hard. I was just looking through the binoculars out the window when he was sitting on the back of that pack behind Leon Hay and Corey Hutchings, and now that's swapped around. It's Guy Andrews in front. Nathan Meyer's in second, Leon Hay is in third, and Corey Hutchings now in fourth. A significant gap back then to series ranked #1 competitor from last year, Scott Reeves. He's probably 20 metres behind this pack, and then another 15 or so metres back to another pack with Josh Blair, Dwayne Tyers, who's having a good swim in there as well, as is Kane Houston. That's Houston going around now. This pack that we're looking at is positions 6 and back. So you can see now that was Brett Tyack we just caught a glimpse of, throwing his head around there. Competitors being careful not to get caught up on the ropes that you'll sometimes see from that underwater shop. That's the rope that holds the can in position, and it's very important for competitors as they make their way around, not only on the board and ski, but also in the swim. We might get a look at it here as they go around. You see that little yellow buoy? That's holding the anchor rope in position, so competitors making sure they don't get tangled up there, getting a good clean run around the break, which of course is sometimes difficult to do while you've got other competitors coming over your feet in particular, because it takes you away from that nice prone swimming position and pushes down on your ankles and tends to really slow you down. Of course, then makes it easier for them to keep swimming up your back, and you just go backwards rapidly from there.
Yep, you've just got a goggle-eye view of what the competitors are up to as they come around the cans. And it is pretty messy. This is our leading pack, though, as they're heading their way back into the beach. There is a wave forming behind them. I don't think by the time it'll get to them, it's going to be definitely broken. They've all turned around and had a look at it. Leon Hay does a bit of backstroke. Dwayne Tyers is up on that. It's going to double up, though, and the leading group will get a second shot at it. Can Dwayne hold it? He's at the top right of your screen. No. So it doubled up, but doubled up in perfect position for the top 4 competitors, which is what we're following now in Corey Hutchings, Guy Andrews, Nathan Meyer and Leon Hay. Leon Hay gets himself all the way to the beach and starts heading up now with Meyer and Hutchings and Andrews there as well. They flick the goggles, and you'll see Dwayne Tyers without a doubt pop up pretty soon. That's him there in the black cap in the centre of your screen. and Stephen King's with him as well, so too Kane Hughesner.
Josh Blair also there. He actually got the best of that wave that those 4 competitors were on, or 4 or 5 competitors. He was way to the south, and as it doubled up, the bit of the wave that picked up our leaders, Nathan Meyer and co, was able to carry Josh Blair through a little bit further, so he did capitalise well on that. Now take a look, there's a change in fortune. Sitting in 4th or 5th position was Scott Reeves, and these other 4 or 5 competitors have come right past him on a wave. He didn't swim badly to be where he is now. He just got passed by competitors on a wave, so that's the changing fortunes of surf lifesaving competition as we watch the transition to the ski. Now you see the competitors, they run up. They've got their paddles positioned neatly across the ski, grab the strap and the paddle at the same time, then run down and jump on. Josh Blair hasn't done a great job of that. Now he's in the danger zone. He's sideways in the shore break. Look how much ground he's lost. Joe, that was terrible transition there. Really need to push hard to make sure you get quickly and confidently onto the ski.
Here comes Darren Mercer, finished his swim and makes his way under the Uncle Tobys arch as he goes through that drink station on the way, and really that is a costly mistake, as you mentioned, from Josh Blair. Trevor Hendy has also lost a bit of time, but as regards to Josh Blair, he's caught up time. 15 minutes, 40 seconds gone on the Holden race clock, and Trevor Hendy is back in about 10th position overall at the moment, probably about 10th or 11th. That really is fascinating to see that one simple mistake like that can cost Josh Blair 3 or 4 places, and they literally went past his eyes while he was stuck there sideways.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, you know, these are the sort of mistakes you can't afford to make. Luckily, though, we can report that he's recovered well from that, and the reason is that this the beach here is fairly steep at the water's edge, and what's happening is as these little shore breaks are hitting the beach, they're washing back down and creating a backwash. It's a wave that with the naked eye you can't really see, but when you're out there, particularly on the ski, you can feel it lift the back of the ski, and the competitors are actually getting a lift on the way out. Josh Blair picked up one, moved up to those 4 competitors, including Dwayne Tyers and Nathan Meyer, that he was, not Nathan, I'm sorry, but with Dwayne Tyers that he was battling with. Kane Hughesner was also there and has been able to pull right back up into that group. So it just goes to show, I mean, it's just another classic example of the changing fortunes. He made a mistake, but then was able to use the surf to recover as we watch Guy Andrews turn around the can. He leads the ski leg here now.
Yep, Guy Andrews on the Energy Plus profile. What it doesn't tell you there is that he has 10 race victories overall. He is only 6 behind Trevor Hendy, and I'm pretty sure that Guy wants to keep going as long as he can to overhaul the great Trevor Hendy. 10 race victories. He won one in Trigg Island this year, and it signalled the return to big things for Guy Andrews. This is the next pack challenging them. Guy Andrews is out in front at the moment in this ski leg of race 2. Hope you can stay with us because we're back from Wanda in just a moment.
Gold. 3 in a row. It's a big ask. But I want
a convent.
But in the heat of the moment, someone could get burned. Savannah, 9:30 Tuesday on 10.
Welcome back to the Uncle Tobys Super Series. This is round 5. It's the triple sprint, and that's our leader from race 2 at the moment. Guy Andrews heads him in on the ski leg. In race 1, Guy Andrews came across the line in 12th position, so he picked up 12 points. If he comes back here, he gets 1 point, and that puts him on 13 overall. Now tricky stuff.
Guy Andrews, gee, now he left himself in a really bad spot there. What happened was he missed the wave in front. He had a look around. He saw Nathan Meyer and Corey Hutchings on the wave behind. He sat there and waited for them. Then he started paddling too late, and that's why the nose of the ski dug in. He did a little late takeoff. Very lucky to keep the nose up. Now he jumps off. The 3 of them will run up the beach around the Holden Frontier 4x4, back down to the water's edge where their handlers will have their skis lined up, ready for them to go out and complete the second half of this 1.5 kilometre ski leg, the last leg of race 2 here at Wanda.
That's Leon Hay coming in 4th. Now the rest of the competitors come in also. Dwayne Tyers is there, Kane Hughesner and Josh Blair. Josh Blair, Tim Bailey, has made up a mountain of room after that little error.
I tell you what, He must have said, right, that was a mistake, no more of those. He put his head down, and that is the paddle. That is the paddle of this leg from Josh Blair. Fantastic performance. Mind you, it was a line ball. Guy Andrews paddled really smartly. He was the only guy to paddle out through the rip. He wasn't touched, and therefore he took the lead. So there's some Ironmen out here with physical prowess that are using their strong mental approach to this and doing well.
Yeah, and that certainly helps in any form of racing, especially this one where it's flat out. And that ad break just then, Grant Kenny has said to me, this is terrific racing. I mean, we've really seen today why these Ironmen are so tight as far as skill level goes. And when they're all flat out, it's just a matter of determination who's going to get through the most.
Yeah, and I think it's a bit to do also with keeping your head together and capitalising on opportunity. There's a man who's always been a master at that, Trevor Hendy. We've seen him just, you know, be in some almost unsurvivable situations and come through. He's lost his ski or he's lost his board and translated into a body surf onto the wave to get himself in, always thinking never a second goes by when Trevor Hendy's not thinking about how to do the job better. And that's indicative of the whole field, I think. Now we've seen Guy Andrews, almost a small lapse in concentration there coming in on the ski. Where he nearly nosedived, but he's capitalised well. He ran around the flag, got his thoughts back together, moved across to the right to get himself back into that rip, as Tim Bailey said, and that really slingshotted him out to the front again now. So he's regained that lead of about 20 metres over Nathan Meyer that he did have, and right out there close to the action, Grant Wilkinson. Wilco obviously can't hear us at the moment. We'll get back to him shortly, but Guy Andrews pops around there, puts the right foot down on the pedal so that his rudder that turns the skis. You can see that black circle right down near the back of the ski. Under that is where the rudder is positioned, and that's of course controlled by the pedals under his feet. And you'll just see him as he works his way now back into the beach, working the runners hard. He's working his rudder pedals backwards and forwards just to keep good control over the ski, and looking for those little hollows I spoke about before, letting his nose drop into the hollows and run the ski along.
All right, I'm pretty sure we've got Grant Wilkinson out there on this ski cam at the moment. Wilco, let's talk about Guy Andrews for a while, because you've raced against him time and time again. And if there's one guy who you don't want to get in a fight with, it's that bloke out there, especially when you're fighting for a lead.
No, he really pulled away on the way out there, and I would have thought Corey would probably be the best paddler in that pack of four, and Guy Andrews just cleared out from both he and Nathan, so he's certainly paddling well. Scotty Reeves, come onto the first candy, give you a little smile, sitting at the back of the pack, motored by the second candy, he was in the lead, and now he's just dropped everyone. He's closing in fast on fourth place, Leon Hay.
Well, closing in fast on the beach at the moment is Guy Andrews, because he's got a wonderful little run. He worked hard. Look at him, pumps up and says, yes, come on, I can take this. He's coming in now. He will definitely take this. And someone behind him has almost got smashed. It looks like Corey Hutchings almost got smashed, dropped his head. Yes, it is.
Look at him, he can't believe that. We didn't see it here, but as I looked out the window and saw what happened. He got caught. A wave came. Nathan Meyer managed to work really hard and get a lift to pull away from Corey. Corey got left with a wave sucking up behind him and almost nosedive. Great work by him to stay on.
Already Guy Andrews has gone through the solo drink tunnel. He is heading up towards the finishing arch, and he will get 1 point because he's going to win race 2. We're talking about Guy Andrews. He's already crossed the line, and Guy Andrews wins race 2 of this triple sprint. Nathan Meyer comes up in second place, so 2 points for Nathan Meyer, and lucky boy Corey Hutchings comes across and says, thank goodness for that, I made through that and I'll get 3 points. So Corey Hutchings will go to 9 points overall. He's looking pretty good at the moment. There's Leon Hay, gets a big cheer, and the defending Super Series champion Scott Reeves comes across as well. Dwayne Tyers is up there. He's also a crowd favourite wherever he goes, and especially after Goolwa. But it was all Guy Andrews, and once again he wears his emotion on his face. When he was coming back in on the ski, when he got out across that little run, he knew all the hard work was worth it, and he said, I've got this one, I'm going to take it all the way to the beach. And he is down on the sand with Tim Bailey. Let's see if Tim Bailey has caught up with Guy Andrews.
Yeah, we've got him right here. He's finished waving to all his fans out here behind him. Guy, that was a very smart paddle. I saw you pick where the rip was, and you were out quicker than anybody else.
Yeah, I used the rip in the to catch up in the earlier race, and it worked well in my advantage. Then I got a bit of a backwash, and mate, just racing with a man possessed. Nathan was right there. We're just trying so hard, both of us.
It was etched on your face, the look of determination. That second half of the ski, racing doesn't come much quicker, does it?
No, it's really hard. And you know, Nathan and I are really racing for the series today, and I just kept thinking of that the whole way around, and Nathan was chasing me down, and mate, we're going as hard as we can possibly go, I tell you.
So the bad news is there's one more race to come, and the season could rest on it.
Well, yeah, I've put a fair bit of weight on this race. You know, it could be the turning point of my career if I can come away with 3 series wins. It all starts today. If I can win today, it's a good start.
OK, hope you're not putting too much pressure on yourself, GA. That is race 2. Guy Andrews is your winner. Back to Matty.
Good on you, Tim. Thank you. GA stands tall after race 2. You know, we've had almost 60 races in 9 years of the Uncle Tobys Super Series. We're going to take a break from Wanda Beach now, but first, let's take a look at the one race that Sean Kenny will never forget. This is Manly Beach, 1989, and it is a Holden highlight.
There's obviously a wave about to set up behind them, and there they go. And look at this wave. It's a big wave breaking into Trevor Hendy, and he's gone backwards.
It's a cyclone up the coast, and it was blowing swell right into Manly.
And Guy Leach really putting on a bit of a display there. They're cutting across that wave.
One of the things I remember vividly is getting a wave with Rideau in the board leg.
This is a gigantic wave. Wait till it breaks behind them. Oh, look at the size of this.
And back then they didn't have arm straps as they do now. You just had to hold onto your board.
Oh, he's held onto it. What a great piece of surfing. That wave just grabbed hold of him and spat him out.
The other thing I remember in that race, which is the wave that actually won it for me, is Rideau and myself taking off on a body wave.
It is a monster. Craig Riddington coming down, crunched over the top of him.
We both got hammered. We got about probably 15, 20 metres in. He got a little bit further in than me, and I was able to swim back, catch a smaller wave, and able to take that all the way to the beach.
Craig Riddington held it longer, but Sean is going to get this next one. Sean is going to be able to hold this wave all the way through. And there's Craig. He's run straight over the top of Craig Riddington.
Doing the last run leg where I had a really big lead and able to give my friends high fives on the way up and the way down and really enjoy the moment. Race I'll never forget.
Welcome back to Wanda Beach. This is round 5 of the Uncle Tobys Super Series, exclusive to Network 10, and take a look at that for a crowd building by the minute. They're seeing some fantastic racing here. 2 down, 1 to go in the triple sprint. Literally thousands of them cramming the beach in front of the Wanda Surf Club. These are the results from race 2. Guy Andrews collected 1 point for first. Nathan Meyer and Corey Hutchings in the top 3. Leon Hay, who won the consolation final to get in the top 21, came in 4th. And Dwayne Tyers is there also in 6th.
Kane Houston's put in a fairly consistent day, picks up 7 points for that one. Trevor Hendy, I thought we would have done a little bit better in that second race, 11 points. Darren Mercer, his best one today with 12 points.
All the way down through to Dean Mercer and Scott Thompson. He picked up 18 points. He'd be disappointed with that because he had a pretty good first round. And Drew Blatchford with 21 points overall. They get a 20-minute recovery period in between. Let's go down to Tim Bailey in the recovery tent.
The triple sprint guarantees close racing, and it doesn't come any closer than after race 2. With me, Corey Hutchings and Kane Houston. And the news, Kane, is that you lead Corey going into this final race on a count back. You are tied, but does that put pressure on? Would you rather be coming from behind or leading from the front?
Oh, it's a lot easier if you're leading from the front, but everyone's been going flat out these last 2 races, and this last one's what everyone wants. It's still pretty close, so anyone can win.
Talk about a form turnaround, Corey Hutchings. You had that victory, and it sparked you. You believe in yourself now, and things are going brilliantly.
Yeah, if that, happens again, it's a good thing, and it's like you said, I've been up and down like a yo-yo, and I just really happy to be here, really.
All right, the situation is you 2 guys are at the front. Now 4 places back. I don't know if you've heard of him at all, but it's Guy Andrews. Does that worry you a little bit, Kane?
That's all you need, him or Trevor.
All right, well, after that, we've got Nathan Meyer, World Ironman champion. Who do you think the dangers are, Corey, honestly?
Looking at that last race, probably Nathan and Guy. They were flying, although Trevor seems to... Trevor looks like he's pretty happy too. But, I think Nathan or Guy at the moment.
All right, we're in the recovery tent. Let's let them recover as we get ready for the 3rd in our triple sprint series, live from Wanda Beach.
Okay, thank you, Tim, and thank you, Corey and Kane also. These are the points that count, though. Kane and Corey tied on 9 apiece, and as Tim mentioned, Kane is in front on a countback. Guy Andrews has 13 points overall. Dwayne Tyers, Nathan Meyer and Trevor Hendy are also threatening. So it all comes down to the final race, where at the end they'll accumulate those points. We'll try and work them out as they cross the line, but I get the feeling, Grant Kenny, that it's going to be a sprint for the line no matter which way they go, and we're going to be having to tally some points up pretty quickly because they're ready for race 3 now. On the starting line, 21 competitors. Big Trevor Hendy with number 2 on his arm. Guy Andrews with number 4 on his arm there. And that's Nathan Meyer in the yellow singlet as well. Corey Hutchings bends down. Leon Hay waits for the start. They're going to start with a swim. Then they'll have a ski. Then a board. Overall, at the end of the day, they will look back and have done 9.15 kilometres worth of racing. 25 minutes each race. This is the third and final race for the day and the third and final race for round 5, which sends us to Portsea, where this championship will no doubt be decided.
And won't that be an exciting race? Portsea has been traditionally a very exciting venue for us. We've seen some of the biggest surf of all times down there for the Uncle Tobys competitors. And hopefully this year will be no exception. But one way or another, it always leads to close racing down there. And off the back of the first 5 rounds, with the overall points so close, in particular between Nathan Meyer and Guy Andrews, it certainly will be very, very exciting to get down there and catch the action.
We've had such a fascinating year, and I want to take you through it for this particular reason. We've had 4 races already, and we've had 4 different winners for each race. Joshua Blair won the first one at North Burleigh. Corey Hutchings won at Copa. Trig Island was won by Guy Andrews, and Dwayne Tyers, of course, down at Goolwa. 3 out of those 4 guys, that's their first ever race victory. Of course, Guy Andrews has won 9 before he won at Perth. So that's the type of year that they're facing. That's the type of day that we're facing out here. It's reflected in every race how close these guys are together.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I think it's just an illustration of how consistent everybody has been competing, how much depth there is in the field, and how much the young kids are coming through and really making a difference, because the sort of people that we don't sort of look at as names in the sport are now up there and seriously contending for the lead right the way through. They mightn't have come through yet and had any of the big wins. We've heard of most of the winners. We've heard of Josh Blair, Corey Hutchings, certainly Guy Andrews and Dwayne Tyers, but these other kids are right there. They're getting seconds and thirds, and it's next season they'll start to move through and pick up the gold and the check for all the hard work. And a lot of these guys do see it as a career move.
And the Holden Frontier if you win the overall series, of course, because that's the bonus that you get for winning this thing. Grant Wilkinson is out there on our Uncle Tobys Energy Plus ski cam. He's just at the tail of the field. Grant, they've started this one with the swim. Really the difference when they start, swim, ski, board for this one, does it favour anyone? Does it change your overall race plan?
Yeah, it certainly does. The better swimmers, Nathan and Kane, they've got to make this leg count if they're going to have any chance of winning today. The first leg, normally you can't come, in this sort of field, you won't be able to come from behind. So they're out in front, they're leading by example.
Guy Andrews is also reasonably well placed in the pack. I think about 5th position there. I saw him turning around that can. A few people swimming over the back of his legs. He's probably swum better today in the legs where swim hasn't been first, and he's had a bit more space around him, but certainly Kane Huesner and Nathan Meyer are pulling out in front, and Nathan Meyer pushes hard to try and get on this wave. Oh, so close. Gee, that could have made a difference.
Yep,
Guy Andrews is just back there. There he is now, back in about 4th or 5th position, reasonably well placed. Just doesn't want to drop back far enough to miss out on a wave. And of course, he is in 3rd position. So Kane Huesner is leading overall today. Corey Hutchings is one competitor that we should be looking out for, of course, because he is in real contention to take out today's event overall. And no doubt will be reasonably well placed. In fact, as the competitors on the top of your screen catch a wave, I can tell you that one of those is Dwayne Tyers, and one of the competitors that just slipped off the back of the wave was Corey Hutchings. So great surfing again by Dwayne Tyers, who I think has now just pulled off that wave. There's Guy Andrews. He's missed the wave and is swimming hard, but up for the transition now as they go around. Nathan Meyer's there. Kane Huesner is there, as well as Leon Hay, and I can't quite see is Jonathan Crowe. It's good to see Jonathan Crowe back up near the front of the pack for a while.
What a day for Leon Hay it's been too. He's up with the leaders everywhere. He can't be missed as far as the leaders go, because he's been with them all the way through. Trevor Hendy ducks his head and just pops on that little shore break with Stephen King right beside him. They're heading back into the water, and Tim, for the first time, we really see them go right up to the southern end of the beach. They've been going a little bit closer, but now they know that that rips up there, so they've gone right further down to the right-hand side.
Yeah, they're looking for the elevator out to sea, and the tide's dropping a little bit. The wave's becoming a bit more consistent. Good news on the way in, bad news on the way out, because the whitewater is hitting a reasonably shallow bank. So they've still got a bit of work to do. Nathan Meyer looks particularly impressive as he puts in the big, long strokes.
And I can tell you that as we look at this leading pack, right over on their left-hand side, Scott Reeves decided that he didn't want to go as far as the rest of the pack. So tactics from Scott Reeves. He thinks that he can still get a pretty good run out that way. He is right back towards the bottom of your screen. In fact, he's right back over. He's probably about 20 metres to the left-hand side of the competitors as they head out. And he's just taking a totally different tack. He just ducked under that wave that you saw on the right-hand side of the screen. That's him down the bottom right-hand side of your screen. Look how far over he is. He's way back in the middle of the field and right across 20 metres across.
Yeah, but I tell you what, I like his move. He was well back as far as that pack's concerned, off to his right. He was back behind them, and by cutting the corner, he short-circuited probably about 20 metres of running, and I'd say it's moved him up about 5 or 6 places. The course has actually moved down a little bit. The first of the turning cans has been moved between the last 2 races, and he's obviously picked that up. A lot of the other competitors tend to just go in there blind and repeat what they did last time. He's obviously had a good look, and I think it's probably paid off well for him.
I'll never forget that day down at Portsea last year, Grant, when Scott Reeves came across the line, and he didn't win the race, but he knew that he'd won the series. And I just said to him, stop for a minute, you're the Uncle Tobys Series champion, and you can see it engulf his whole body. And he just said to me, it really is a dream come true. You wonder if he's going to be able to do it again this year, because it's always coming, it's always going to come down to the last race, especially this kind of year that we've had, because it's been as tight as we've ever seen. They're heading out around now to the cans. The winners here today will not only receive $15,000 in prize money, but they're also going to get a wonderful Citizen watch, courtesy of Citizen, our sponsors, of course. That is the Dress Divers. It's water resistant to 200 metres. It's quite a classy watch, the ProMaster, and it's worth $599 retail. That will go to the winner of the men's race, and the one on the left goes to the winner of the Meadow Lee Iron Woman Series race. So Linda Halfwig, as you just saw, who was modelling it, now has one today in her possession after winning here earlier today. Back out to the race now. Our leader, Kane Hughesner, still has Nathan Meyer right on him. Look at the goggles of Kane Hughesner. When he looks up and gets back into the wave zone, he's going to look up and see on Wanda Beach, on the hills coming down here towards the sand, some 5,000-10,000 people. They really are crowding in. It's been a fantastic day of Ironman racing. It's been a long day too. 7 minutes passes on the Holden race clock. 25 minutes worth of racing this should take.
And the competitors, you might have noticed there, they were picking their heads up and having a look back to shore. They're trying to find the best line back to the beach. It's very important for these competitors to come back into the arch, and with a big crowd on the hill, it makes it very hard to see where they're going. I think most competitors have taken a reasonably good line back to the beach and got a reasonable chance of picking up a wave. There's a little bit of a wave out the back. It's whitewater. There's a few competitors on it. It'll come through and pick up these leaders in a minute. How many guys are going to get pulled up there? On your right-hand side, Nathan Meyer. What great surfing. Look at that little wave he's picked up there to hold his little lead over that second wave. That was fantastic stuff by Nathan Meyer. Gee, if he hadn't have done that, he'd have been right back there and done it real tough to pick up that wave. Full credit to Kane Hughesner, though. He picked it up broken, and that was a great bit of surfing by him too.
Joshua Blair's up there in third position as well, and Scotty Thompson again comes out of nowhere and just pops up and says, don't forget about me, guys. Leon Hay had to stop in dead water and wait for that wave to come, and there's the difference for Scott Reeves. He's come back up into the top group, whereas he really was almost second last going into the water. We talked about his tactics. They've paid off for the defending series champion. The two black caps, Corey Hutchings and Dwayne Tyers, comes through. So too Stephen Meredith. They're coming around that Holden Frontier there now, and they're going to head back down where the skis will be waiting for them. And already Nathan Meyer is out into the water as these other guys make their way up the beach.
Guy Andrews, speaking of guys, he's a guy that really copped the bad end of that wave that came through. He was sitting in fourth position, swimming in, and in a fairly comfortable place, and was just a little bit off to the left of his line coming in, and the whole field, as you can see, about 15 competitors came past him on that wave. He now has a lot of work to do to catch back up. So Guy Andrews really getting the bad end of that, and he's having trouble now as we speak. That's him, the orange ski in the centre of your screen. He's having awful trouble trying to get onto his ski. That's cost him about another 15 metres.
And poor old Brett Tyack there just fell off as well also as he got smashed by a little shore break. There is quite a few waves building in front of Guy Andrews now, probably one of the biggest sets that we've seen come through and the cleanest sets. So they're going to get a little bit hammered as they head back out there. Grant Wilkinson is out there now, your midfield, Grant, but the guy at the top of the field at the moment, Nathan Meyer, has one problem. He can win this thing, but he's got to shake off Kane Hughesner and Corey Hutchings first. Well, we seem to have lost Grant Wilkinson yet again doing the hard work out there on us for the Uncle Tobys ski cam with Guy Leach sick today. So that's the problem that really is facing Nathan Meyer as we look at him.
Nathan Meyer can do all the hard work. He can put in the best result, come through and win this last race. But really, whether or not he can take out the event for the day depends completely on where Kane Hughesner, Corey Hutchings and Guy Andrews finish, because they're in first, second and third positions at the moment. So Nathan Meyer doing it well. He's into the second leg. This is a 1.5 kilometre ski leg, and this is how this 1.5 kilometre ski leg started for Guy Andrews. Mentioned he got past in the swim leg. Here he goes trying to get on. He's got no clean water yet. He needs to wait till a wave goes past to jump on. Can't jump now because of that white ski going past him. And on the left-hand side, the blue deck ski knocked his paddle out of the way. Now there's another wave which he's got to stand through. So it's one thing after another after another. On the left-hand side, the blue ski, that's Dean Mercer. Dean Mercer was about 15 metres behind Guy Andrews as they ran around. That'll give you an idea of how much ground he lost.
Well, that's terrible luck, and how frustrating would that be as you're waiting to get out there, especially when you're like Guy Andrews and you just can't wait to put in a fight. The fight continues, though, here at Wanda for the triple sprint, and I hope you can stay with us on Network 10. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to Wanda as they head back towards the beach in this ski leg, the second leg of race 3 of the triple sprint. This is round 5 of the Uncle Tobys Super Series, and Nathan Meyer there in the yellow singlet is doing a fair bit of work coming back into the beach as well. He's got a nice little run going there. And of course the man that he has to catch, Kane Hughesner, sitting right beside him as well. This is a fairly handy run too, because it's separating them from the rest of the pack, although there is one behind and there's a wave forming right for them, and they've all got it. The three of them have got it. Scotty Thompson in the middle, Josh Blair on the bottom of screen, and Scott Reeves to the top of your screen, so they're chasing as well. Overall, those guys are pretty much out of contention unless things start to dramatically change at the front. They're out of contention. By that I mean that they needed to finish lower, or sorry, higher up in the
earlier two races.
In the earlier two races.
Absolutely, they really do. There's virtually no chance of them winning here today. I tell you what, I'd love to be in Kane Hughesner's shoes. Just have a think. He's got 750 metres of ski paddling to go. After that, all he's got left is his favourite leg, and that's the swim. Now here's the chase pack, and one of the guys that could have done all right is Guy Andrews. That's him on the orange ski on the right-hand side. In the middle, on the blue ski, is Dean Mercer. Jonathan Crowett is behind him. Steve Pullen just went out of the left of screen. On the feet now, and they run up and around that flag. Look at all the handlers trying to get the skis out of the way before the next pack come. Oh, that makes it hard. Brett Tyack had to dodge around a ski there. Sean Kenny, Corey Hutchings, there's an equal leader on the right-hand side of your screen. So as you can see, he's got an enormous amount of work to do to catch up to Kane Hughesner, who is now out in clear water. Well, he's in the lead pack anyway with 4 other competitors, but plenty of action in the back of the pack as they make the transition, the halfway mark of the ski leg.
Around the Holden Frontier they all went. They came back down towards the beach, and Tim Bailey's down there. Tim, yesterday, Jonathan Crowe said to me, I'd hate to be a handler because you just get abused from pillar to post.
Well, that's exactly it. And as you said that, a handler went running past in front of Stephen King and got a gobful and a snap around the head for his trouble. So it's pretty physical down here. Kane Hughesner, if he thinks about this, well, he knows that he can control his own destiny. I think he's the only person out there that can. Corey Hutchings is well back. So if Kane Hughesner uses the smarts that's in his family, he should win this event.
Yes, and he's, as I said before, you're dead right, Tim. When you say use the smarts, it's in the family. That's the sort of pedigree he comes from, and he's certainly shown a lot of consistency here today, and that's what today's racing is all about. It's the shorter course format. Triple sprint it is, and 25-minute races they may be, but it's not the 2-hour endurance, it's not the quadrathon, it's not any of the other sort of formats that we know. And Kane Hughesner now sits comfortably going into this last race. Equal first after 2 rounds with Corey Hutchings, and Corey is now a good 10 places behind him. So really none of the people around him can do him any damage, and he's coming up to his favourite leg, the swim. So, you know, that's it's good work for him to be in such a commanding position. Very difficult to do with the sort of calibre of competitors that he's out there mixing it with now. And, you know, really, I think he's going to go through with it from here. But certainly there'll be an enormous amount of interest in the minor placings, second through third, fourth, and even down to 5th place. And it'll be interesting for us to have a bit of a look and see where Trevor Hendy is too, because he was equal with Nathan Meyer and Brett Tyack going into this. Dwayne Tyres was in 4th. Guy Andrews was in 3rd position. So there's still a lot to be decided from 2nd place back.
Well, let's see if Grant Wilkinson can help us with the Trevor Hendy call. There he is coming right around now. Wilco, you're out there. How far is Trevor back?
He's back in about the 3rd pack. He's just gone around the 2nd can, but he's caught up a long way. He was in 18th position in the swim, and now he's about midfield. So he's got the ski and the board. He'd be happy where he's now, I'd say. He'll be up in the top 10 by the finish.
Yeah, he certainly will, and there's Portsea still to come as well for Trevor Hendy. Thank you, Grant Wilkinson, out there doing some pretty tough work. And we're back now. That's with Trevor Hendy there, the blue cap. Look at that. Corey Hutchings comes along on his right-hand side and just zips on past. And that's Brett Tyack over on the right-hand side as well. But this is the leading pack on the way in. There is about 5 of them. They're going to hit the beach, and they'll head up towards a 150-metre transition. Josh Blair can't get the front of his ski. Yes, he can. Just got the front of his ski over the top of that, and now back into the beach.
Yeah, it's very comfortable for these competitors here, and especially for this guy. Kane Hughesner, I mentioned that he's got his favourite swim leg to go. Of course, they've already had to swim in this race, and that's what set him up so well. It's, of course, the board still to go, but really, such a great all-rounder, Kane Hughesner. I don't think that's going to make any difference. But as we watch the rest of the pack come through, we've got Steve Pullen on the right. That's Dean Mercer on the blue ski. Jonathan Crowe with the blue cap. Guy Andrews closest to us on the orange. No real dramas for these guys as they just make that last few metres to the beach. Then they'll hit the legs and run hard. Watch Dean Mercer run. Doesn't he have an unusual style, but a very aggressive style? He really pumps hard. He really makes the most of his transitions, Dean, and I guess that's what's made him such a great champion.
Every transition yesterday in the eliminations, Grant, for Dean was a sprint. No way about it. He just put the head down and went flat out the whole way, and it paid for him in the end because he got some valuable time in that little transition period. Now they head back out towards those first set of cans. This is the last leg of this triple sprint. The other competitors come up the beach now. Brett Tyack, Trevor Hendy and Corey Hutchings in position. Well, Corey really needs to make a move. He has to overhaul about 15 people if he wants to get back up towards the front. So it looks almost as if Kane Hughesner has this one wrapped up. He'd need some pretty bad trouble to lose it from here. And as Tim Bailey said, he's got plenty of smarts about him. The bloodlines are terrific as well.
Absolutely, and if we go back to the battle that we spoke about earlier between Guy Andrews and Nathan Meyer, of course, very important here today between those two because of their position on the overall points tally. Of course, Nathan Meyer is 1 point ahead of Andrews, and Andrews then 10 points ahead of Josh Blair to take up the top 3 of adjusted points for the Uncle Tobys Super Series for the year. A lot of interest then in how Guy Andrews and Nathan Meyer will finish in this race. And in fact, here today in the 5th round, Guy Andrews, I think, is in a pretty solid position to perhaps pick up 2nd overall here today.
Surely Nathan Meyer can't finish 2nd for the 4th race in a row. He had a bad race first up at North Burleigh, and ever since then, he has been on fire. He's had 3 consecutive 2nd places, and you'd really have to feel for the fella if he came across 2nd again.
Yeah, well, I think on the one hand, you certainly would. On the other hand, I think he'd be pretty happy to get 2nd and pick up the points at this stage. But he's up there, and as we said earlier, he can only do his best out there now. I mean, overall points today surely will go to Kane Hughesner, but Nathan Meyer is going to have to just basically look over his shoulder and see where Guy Andrews is.
At the end of the day, when Nathan Meyer looks back, I'm sure if he made it through to Portsea and claimed the overall series title without winning a race, he would not give a hoot. He'd say 3 or 4 second placings straight. That's the best year I've ever had, and I deserve to be the champion because in this year, nobody's dominated. But he's come as close as anyone to domination there, even if he hasn't had a win.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think, as you said earlier, the comments from Scotty Reeves when you told him he'd won last year, he said this is a dream come true. That, I think, just says it all as far as how much prestige these guys put on this race. And I think that he'd be more than happy to come through and win the series overall without having ever won an event. And I think it starts off with overall series champ they're happiest with. If they can do it with a win on the way, then I'm sure, that's just a little bit of a bonus.
He's picked up some cash already for the year too. He's won some $35,000 in the 4 races that we've had, Nathan Meyer. That's him on your screen. He's certainly in line for some big money at the end, and of course that Holden Frontiera goes to the bonus pool for the overall winner. In the 9 years that this competition has been running, the Uncle Tobys Super Series, there's been some $4 million worth of prize money given away. 85 grand up for grabs today, and around about 340 has already been given away overall this year. It's a $1 million prize pool, but as you said, prestige counts for the most. That's Scott Reeves there, just to the right-hand side of Nathan Meyer, the left-hand side on your screen, and on the right-hand side on your screen is Kane Houston. Josh Blair just doing the work behind.
Yes, well, that man we spoke about, Scotty Reeves, I've got to tell you, he did a great run back. While we were watching Nathan Meyer on the board, he was off out there on his own, put in a great effort, and pulled up to about 15 metres in front, and only to have the other 2 guys come through on that wave. So good effort there by Scott Reeves to bring himself back up into equal second position. This is the second pack coming in now, and there's Guy Andrews is on there. He's the orange board, and he is the one that needs to finish no less than 2 places, or I'm sorry, no more than 2 places behind Nathan Meyer to retain second place today, and that's the battle we're talking about for the overall series. Andrews would still need to finish, Nathan Meyer needs to finish well ahead of Trevor, which I think he will do, and also ahead of Dwayne Tyes. So Guy Andrews has got a lot of work to do to pick up Nathan Meyer to take second place here today. So won't that leave things interesting for the overall points in the series?
Certainly will, and I'm sure that we'll have a pretty big crowd down there at Portsea on the Australia Day weekend. We're going to finish the series there in hopefully some big surf, but you can be guaranteed that we'll have a big crowd. And a big thank you also to the crowd that's turned up here at Wanda today. Our first race in Sydney, we had one up at Copacabana on the central coast of New South Wales where we had some pretty big numbers, and take a look at that. We spoke to Grant Wilkinson during one of the breaks, and he said it's fantastic to be able to paddle back in and look up and see all those people there. Thousands upon thousands of people, and here at Wanda they've put on a terrific show. I'm sure we'll be back. This is a big beach as far as Ironman competition goes, and some of the legends of the sport have competed here and come from here.
Yeah, certainly have, and it brings back a lot of memories for a lot of the competitors out here today. And really, it's a good venue. We've got a great... The surf's not big, but you can see that even with this half to 1 metre swell, it's tricky enough for the competitors to really have to use their head to make the most of it. And of course, as you can see by the crowd on the beach, the local people absolutely love it down here. This is a surfing part of Sydney's beaches, Sydney's coastline, and it's great to see a big crowd here. We really do thank the local people for coming down, and have a look at them there on the beach. And I'll tell you what, it's a great feeling too as a competitor. Lifesavers don't normally get that stadium sort of feel, but this is about as close as you can get with this natural amphitheatre sort of situation here with the sand dunes. It really does help lift the spirits of the competitors, and it's great for them to be able to compete under these sort of conditions. But I'll tell you what, talking about competing well, Nathan Meyer is out the front of this pack. That's Trevor Hendy leading the pack around. Corey Hutchings on his left, and Leon Hay on his right with Dwayne Tyes immediately behind him, Brett Tyaks with him. But if we can get back to the leaders, I can tell you that Nathan Meyer is about to pull a wave that will bring him safely through to the beach, we hope.
Yep, there he goes.
Take out this last race.
Nathan Meyer just smacks his hands on the board. Take a look at that for cool, calm, flicks something. Oh, there's a bit of wax here. I might get rid of that.
Maybe he was counting. And
g'day, Nate. Thanks for being part of this one. You have got it. You've got this third race wrapped
first,
up.
Then Kane.
So...
Okay.
Nathan Meyer has come across.
We need him to grab Kane first off.
He's going to come on down and win this third race. That is the triple sprint. Nathan Meyer, but take a look at Kane Houston. He's the one that we all really want to look at. Nathan Meyer comes across. He will have the third race wrapped up. It's been a pretty good day for Nathan Meyer. He's put himself in position for second overall. He'll cross the line. Scotty Reeves will cross the line also in second position. That's Scott Reeves there. But the day will belong to the man who's about to finish fourth. It belongs to Kane Hughesner. Kane Hughesner shakes Josh Blair's hand and he says, "I've won the triple sprint." Kane Hughesner should have done it with that. He'll have 13 points overall, and nobody can catch Kane Hughesner as the rest of the competitors come across. Guy Andrews, Scott Thompson keeps coming as well. Big Simon Martin has fought his way back up into the top placings, and Wes Berg has also put in a strong performance. The sprint is on there. Oh, they've almost smashed into our cameraman as they've just tried to fall across the line. Corey Hutchings couldn't catch Kane, and on the overall points for the day in this triple sprint, nobody else could. It's only Kane Hughesner's second ever victory in the Uncle Tobys Super Series. He joins Tim Bailey.
All right, well, with me actually is Nathan Meyer to start with, the winner of that final race. Nathan, you're consistent. You're a bridesmaid again, though, a second. I saw the look of disappointment when you realised that you hadn't been able to overhaul Kane.
No, Kane had a great day today. He was very consistent. Had a little bit unlucky in the first race, which may have hampered my overall results for the day. But if it's a second officially, I'm very happy with that.
Well, you would be in the scheme of things for the series, because we're one race away down to Portsea, and that would put you at the front.
Well, yeah, I was really keeping tabs on things the first few races, but that last one, it was like all guts and really get into it in the last few legs there, and I didn't really keep tabs on that last one. I just went for it.
Just how hard is it to keep a tactical mind on things when you're putting your body through absolutely everything? The third of 3 hard races out there, and you still have to try and play tactics, don't you?
Well, yeah, you do have to play a few tactics. I mean, as I said, the first few more than the last one. But it was really, I got stung by a bee coming in there on the last race. There was a bee stuck in my board thing. It stung me. I think it gave me a bit of a spur along. So, that was the way I finished the board, yeah.
You must be happy with your form, though. Consistency, it sums you up this season.
Well, yeah, I earned the leader's jersey last race, and hopefully I'll be able to keep that for the final round. So I'm very happy with that, yeah.
Thank you very much. World Ironman champion Nathan Meyer. Back to you, Matty.
Thanks, Tim. Nathan Meyer's always got a good story to tell, hasn't he? That's why he's one of the characters, and he'll certainly be one of the big names of the Uncle Tobys Super Series in years to come, and especially this year, because I'm tipping he is going to be hard to beat for the overall series honour. Take a look at the crowds there at Wanda Beach. They've really came streaming down for this day. They've been here all day. They gave great support to our Meadow Lee Iron Women, and they've done it again for the Uncle Tobys Super Series. This day, though, belongs to Kane Hughesner. Now he's with Tim Bailey.
The day belongs to Kane Hughesner, and so does the cheque for 15,000 big ones. Kane, I tell you what, you earned every cent of that.
Yeah, the first couple of races are hard, and me and Clory are neck and neck the whole way, and then Nathan wasn't far behind. In the last race, he's gone off like a rocket. I thought, geez, I better stay from here, but in the end, he just didn't have enough lead on me to get me, so I was all right.
We talked in the recovery tent before race 3, and you knew that what you had to do, stay at the front, and you used a tough mental approach, and you were able to do that.
Oh, yeah, if you're in races like this, if you're always up the front, then you seem to be feeling a lot better. If you're struggling from behind, you seem all of a sudden you feel worse, and so it's easy to be up there leading, I guess.
There'd be one fellow that'd be particularly proud at the moment. We said during the call that the pedigree of the Hughesner family is fantastic. What about Dennis? What do you think he's doing? Cartwheels?
Oh, he'd be wrapped. He's been down the coast holidaying all week, and he's driven all this way back to watch me. I couldn't let him down and not put a good show on for him, so he'll be wrapped now.
How much do you owe to your champion father?
Oh, probably all of it. He's like helps me out on the board and ski the whole way through it, so probably all of it to him.
Kane, congratulations. A great win. You're second in the series. Your consistency too, you must be very pleased with.
Yeah, I always find the shorter races a lot better. I like going out hard and trying to hold on. The longer races, if you do that, you tend to die off and it's too long to go before you have to hold on. But I gave up New Year's Eve for this, and now it's all worth it.
The Hughesner family will party long and hard tonight. Kane Hughesner, winner of the triple sprint, down here at Wanda. Back to you, Matty.
The 21-year-old from the Maroubra Club has done it again. Only his second Uncle Tobys Super Series victory. He won at Freshwater last season, and he's done it here again today at Wanda. But fancy this for Nathan Meyer. For the 4th time, he has finished second overall. As we said, it's probably heartbreaking on one respect, and it's fascinating on the others, because he goes down to Portsea now with the knowledge that he'll be hard to beat for the overall series title, and that would be a dream come true for the youngster. There's Simon Martin on your screen. Coming to the end of a fabulous day here at Wanda. We've had a wonderful race in the women's and a fantastic race in the men's. Stay with us. We're going to wrap it all up for you on the other side of this break. A fabulous day of Ironman racing here at Wanda Beach in southern Sydney, and a day that belonged in the end to Maroubra's Kane Hughesner. He did it by consistency. He has taken out the triple sprint, which is round 5 of the Uncle Tobys Super Series, and really continues a pattern for the year, a new winner for each race that we've had this year. Grant, as I mentioned, he did it with consistency. So too has Nathan Meyer, who's finished second now 4 times straight.
Absolutely. Well, Nathan has been consistent enough to put himself on the top of the table. Of course, he has had a win, which I'm sure he'd be very thankful for, but not much between him and Guy Andrews. Kane Hughesner, though, today, consistency was what paid off in the end. A 2nd, 7th and a 4th. In these small but tricky conditions here today, he really made the most of it, and often it's the small surf that brings guys unstuck the most, because it's when they least expect it that they get belted by something reasonably small.
Yeah, surf skills were the order of the day. We saw it in the Meadow Lee Iron Women. We saw it again in the Uncle Tobys Super Series. Let's take a look at the race results after this race. Kane Hughesner first with 35 points. That goes to his end-of-year tally. Nathan Meyer, as we mentioned, gets another valuable 34. Guy Andrews in the top 3. Joshua Blair, Scotty Reeves and Corey Hutchings rounding out the top 6.
Yes, Corey qualified well today. Simon Martin also up there early. Dwayne Tyes still up there. He could have done a little better. Trevor Hendy, the master, is still hanging in there too.
A good day for Leon Hay. He finished 12th overall, and here we go, 13 down to 18. Darren and Dean Mercer in that pack there. Wes Berg in 18th position.
Stevie Meredith, Sean Kenny and Drew Blatchford make up the bottom end of the field.
Of course, we had 21 competitors only today. They went through the elimination heat. It really was a wonderful day here at Wanda. A massive crowd came down to this beach to see some of the closest Ironman racing we've seen all year, and that's the type of crowd that we had there all day. The adjusted series points, these are the important ones, and Nathan Meyer has a 2-point break now over Guy Andrews. Remember, the adjusted points mean that they can drop their worst result of the series. When we went into this, Grant, Nathan and Guy were 1 apart. Now they're only 2 apart, so there's really not much in it.
No, there certainly isn't. There's plenty left on the line too. It could be anybody's race. Portsea is going to be a big one, I think, and we should all be looking forward to that.
Yes, I'm pretty sure it will all go down to that big C down there at Portsea, right down through to 23rd and 24th position with Sean Kenny, 25th position Drew Cancross, Michael Walker, Darren Mercer and Luke Watson, 30th position overall. Before we wrap up these points, I'd like to thank Grant Wilkinson, who was out there on our Energy Plus ski cam, filling in for a sick Guy Leach. Hope you get better, Leachy, and thank you also, Grant. We'll see you in Portsea. Should be a beauty.
Looking forward to that one. That'll be big, and of course it's very important. The top 20 of the competitors there, all chasing those contracts for next year.
Yep, Portsea it is. It will be big, hopefully big surf as well, and you can catch it on Network 10, of course. The Uncle Tobys Super Series continues. It's the final round 6, Sunday, 25th of January from 3 p.m. through till 5 p.m, but please check your local guides. Of course, the Meadow Lee Iron Women's Series will be on before that. A full afternoon of Ironman racing, 2 p.m. through to 3 p.m, and that will wrap up the Iron Women's Series. Of course, Carla Gilbert has already wrapped up that championship, but it will be a beauty. So I hope you enjoyed our day here at Wanda. We certainly did. We had a fantastic crowd. It really was a wonderful day's racing, and it couldn't have got any closer, but it couldn't have got any better for a bloke called Kane Hughesner. We hope to see you next time when we go to Portsea for round 6 of the Uncle Tobys Super Series. Until then, goodbye from Wanda.
Yeah, it's all happening out here.
To Trevor Hendy sprinting ahead now. He wants to get the best of the run. Nathan Meyer is the competitor closest to you. Hendy has missed that wave. 12 competitors on the wave behind us. A bit of push and shove. Steve Paulin is at a late takeoff. He's nearly come off.
Oh, he's gone off.
Oh, tragedy if he recovers.
Look at him get back on it, and he's off again.
Oh, Steve Paulin, that was terrible luck for him. Leon Hay, there he is. He's pulled onto this wave.
And the leading group group will get a second shot at it. Can Dwayne hold it?
Look at that little wave he's picked up there to hold his little lead over that second wave.
G'day, Nate. Thanks for being part of this one. You have got it. But the day, it belongs to Kane Huster. Kane Huster shakes Josh Blair's hand and he says, I've won the triple sprint.